Music Matters is in its 9th year, but a record 1,850 attendees from 30 countries arrived at the Ritz-Carlton yesterday for a new first, All That Matters, encompassing music, digital, social and sponsorship panels.
It's the first time we have ever produced a multi-track event. The new world is you join in with your competition and you co-create and you collaborate, because 1 + 1 is way more than 2.
For Rennie Reckman, CEO of Maker Studios, the new world represents a revolution.
The millennials, they are driving the change. For them, it's mobile first.
And those millennials aren't content to merely watch content. They want to create it.
It's totally different from anything that anyone's ever known before in traditional media, so it's something special.
Growth of self-creation was a concept also expressed by YouTube Global Head of Entertainment, Alex Carlos.
We have over 1 million creators we're proud to call partners, with over 1 billion people tuning into them every month.
They're dying for them.
But story matters too. Ogilvy Entertainment president and founder Doug Scott used a series of captivating video clips featuring Kevin Spacey and Red Bull to show that great content, presented well, creates conversation.
I'm sure several of you just tweeted out the artist that was up here before me, right? And those conversations beget more content. And back and forth, you get the story cycle. And people start to link into that, and that's this idea of obviously the social framework or the social networks that are out there, all of which then drives commerce.
And traditional media players claim they also still have a place.
And I think it's a fallacy to suggest that digital is the great area, digital only is a great area of creation at the moment, because there is a huge amount of amazing creativity going on in traditional broadcast television, and I think you're seeing a strong emergence of that in these markets as well.
In terms of high-profile guests, multi-talented instrumentalist Thomas Dolby, famed for 80s hits and forays into ringtones and games, revealed how he's glad to be at this week's event as a chance to give back.
I'm starting to engage with students and with kids and trying to pass on some of my knowledge.
And everyone talked about how excited they are for this week's lineup of events, which includes 170 live shows and more.
The right people, the right place, and I got to tell you, the right climate to make the right connections, plus here's some great ideas.
It's all about coming to Music Matters because this is the best place to be out in Asia for getting your music out there.
Seriously, the internet might actually break because of YouTube Fan Fest.
Ladies and gentlemen, he matters, Jasper Donuts.
Thank you once again, Mr. Bean. I'm not going to do this tomorrow morning. Before I start, who was here yesterday? Who sat in here yesterday? Good, not many of you, because you can probably pick your iPhones out now or Samsungs, because I'm going to do a little bit of what we did yesterday morning. But it's great that it's a fresh crowd today, because it means that this whole idea of a multi-track event that we're doing for the first time ever is working. Just a comment on Dom there saying that he thinks that we might break the internet. I'm not sure we're going to break the internet. We nearly broke Changi Airport last night, and I'll show you that in a second. But we are on day 2.5 of a marathon that goes till Sunday. If you see anyone looking like that, they probably work for me. But the branded team have been absolutely amazing so far, but they are very, very tired this morning and realizing we're going till Sunday night. My job, as ever, is to really take you through what to expect for the next 2 or 3, 4 days, just so you get a picture of how we've put this program together, who's here, who you can meet, and who you can be doing business with. Hashtag is matters to me with the number 2. Some great news. Our friends at Hootsuite, who have got their lovely booth out there, have been monitoring everything, and yesterday we had 22 million impressions, which isn't bad from a conference, really, is it? 22 million impressions. And then the YouTubers started arriving at Changi last night. And by 10 o'clock last night, we were trending number 2 in Singapore. This is before the event has even started on the weekend. We're trending in Singapore. I haven't checked the numbers today. But it's happy birthday to us. We are 9 years old. I had a lot of fun going through some old pictures of the event over the last 9 years. There are some really bad ones I could have put in, but I thought, let's do that another time. We'll hold it over people's heads for the next 9 years. But what started 9 years ago in 2006 in Hong Kong with just around 300 delegates, Edgar Bronfman Jr. on stage, who thanked Michael and I for being, he thought we were security, has now progressed. We moved to Singapore, as we all know, 4 years ago. We added Digital Matters. We added a music festival, a small music festival, Music Matters Live. And then last year, we added the YouTube Fan Fest. So we're growing really at a really nice rate. We're not trying to do this huge Google, Facebook hypergrowth thing. We're growing at a really, really nice rate. But I'm really, really proud that we've made it to 9 years. So 10 years next year is going to be a big one. There's a few people here who've made all 9. And so what we're going to do is come up with a little McDonald's star system. So the people who made it 10 years, they'll get a little badge that they can walk around. And that's our way of saying thank you. Or maybe not. 12 months ago, who was here 12 months ago? If you remember, the Ritz-Carlton was run absolutely ragged by hundreds and hundreds of teenage kids chasing after their favorite YouTube stars. We like to think they were chasing after our speakers, but it was the YouTube stars they were after. It took everyone by surprise. It took our delegates, it took the YouTubers themselves, it took the hotel by surprise, it took YouTube by surprise, the people who work for Google as well. We didn't realize at that time the influence that these kids have got over their fans. And we're not talking about musicians and actors, the traditional entertainment business. We're talking about vloggers, makeup artists, comedians, lifestyle people. And all of a sudden we learned from these kids, these normal kids, about the new entertainment economy. And Ralph Simon, who's going to be on stage in about 10 minutes, gave us a new word, and that word was screenagers. And there were about 300 screenagers at Changi Airport at midnight last night, making an awful lot of noise. So in the last 12 months, we've actually taken it on the road. We've gone to India, we're back in Singapore, and then next week we're taking the YouTubers down to Sydney, where we've got our first sold-out show and a second show on sale. And then on to Japan and Korea later in the year. But the India event was amazing. We had 11 YouTubers, but it trended #1 on Twitter for a week leading up to the event. Not at the event or after the event, but leading up to the event as the artists were in town making a lot of noise. Even Shah Rukh Khan, the big daddy of Bollywood, came on stage and said a few words as well. It was great to have him there. He was actually there because his daughter was there. And then this is what happened last night in Changi Airport. This is Bethany Mota. She has 7 million subscribers. She vlogs about hair and makeup and beauty. I'll spare you from that noise because we're going to be listening to that for the next 4 days all over Singapore. But that wasn't One Direction. I know they're coming, but that wasn't One Direction. She vlogs about hair and makeup. The thing about Bethany and all of these stars that are here this week is they've got a number of skills, but the main thing is that they can connect with their fans and they connect with them all the time. They want to be accessible, not inaccessible. And it's the whole new entertainment economy. So what's happened in the last 12 months is we've actually learnt from the pupils. All those who thought we got it, we've been learning all these new things from the pupils. Now, you saw it on the video just now. Everything that these YouTubers are now doing is about collaboration. They're working with each other. They're not competing with each other, as used to be the case. They're now working with each other to collaborate because, as I said before, 1 + 1 equals way more than 2. And you'll see a lot of collaborations happening this week between the artists. It is a level playing field. Everyone has the tools at the same tools at their disposal as the next person to succeed. No longer is it about luck, it's about you. And it is all up to you. No one's going to do it for you. It's completely up to you. So it's such an exciting time to be in any creative industry right now, because you don't have to be an amazing violinist or a great drummer. You can be just you, and you can find your audience and communicate. So that's what's happened in the last 12 months, and a lot of that thinking has gone into the program that we have put together for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, for All That Matters. We have actually got 36 individual events happening this week, which is probably why the team are looking so tired. And as I said on the video as well, it is the first time we've ever produced a multi-track event. So we've seen some really amazing successes. The rooms upstairs yesterday were rammed. So maybe we should have planned for some bigger rooms. But as I said yesterday, it's really important that I hear your feedback as to what you think is working, and if you think we can improve other things as well, because we've never produced a multi-track event at this scale before. So who's here? Who's in the room? We have over 1,800 delegates registered, including all the bands and students and the academies. 460 companies, 210 speakers. There was 140 speakers last year, so a significantly bigger program this year. 65 bands playing 170 different shows until Saturday night in Clark Quay and some other venues around the region, around Singapore. There are wonderful YouTubers, and everyone has come in from 43 countries, so I hope the tourism board is sitting in the room to hear that lovely, lovely statistic. But really, it is now the United Nations of media. So the next 4 days and nights, conference goes for the next 2 days. We planned this around, as I said, everything that we've learned in the last 4 years. We've had 4 tracks going around digital, sponsorship, music, and social. Quite an eclectic mix of people, if you look at the breakdown of all the delegates here. But really, we're all driven by one thing and one thing only, and that is that content matters. And all the conversations have been about content. What is great content that goes online? What is great content that is shareable? Which brands are making great content which is shareable? So everything we're doing this week is around content, and content matters. But the program is absolutely stuffed full, as were some of the rooms yesterday. So again, bear with us. If it is standing room only, I do apologize. It does make great photographs. And here's the basic principle. We said it yesterday, but if you can't ride 2 horses at the same time, then you don't belong in this circus. There's a lot going on, and I hope you all enjoy as much of it as possible. By the way, we have planned the tracks in such a way that hopefully nothing ever clashes. Okay, so yesterday digital was down here and music was upstairs. Today, music is down here, digital and social are upstairs. So hopefully there won't be too many opportunities where something would clash. So today, upstairs, we have Digital Matters and the first day of Social Matters. So it could be quite interesting to have all the digital platforms going at the same time as a lot of brands and agencies and advertisers and people on the social side. So there could be some interesting babies made at coffee time and lunchtime upstairs. But then Music Matters, the crazies have taken over the ballroom for the day, and the program starts in a minute with Max Hole, finishes with Mark Geiger. I mean, to start with Max and finish with Mark is quite phenomenal, and we're really thrilled that they're both here. And in the middle, we have this guy. Apple de App is here. He's here for the whole week. He's here because we wanted to give a message after the terrible hurricane that hit the Philippines in November. we got straight on the phone to our friends and said, let's give a business as usual, business is open, business as usual message for the Philippines. And so Apple will be here all week. He's going to be mentoring 150 musicians tomorrow. He's going to be speaking today. He's going to come to the festival. I'm not allowed to say this, but he's going to be at the Fan Fest as well. That's a secret, so don't tell anyone because we don't know anyone. But also, we did the Gutierrez E-Entertainment party last night for the Philippines. We're doing a party in the Philippines tonight. There's a lot of stuff going on for the Philippines. So real kind of strong message of sending our love to the country, but also, big support. Tonight, after the conference, please just step 6 feet that way into the lobby. Our friends at KOKA, the Korean government agency, are hosting a K-pop party immediately after the conference, after Mark Geiger's session. And then we have buses to take everyone to Clark Key. The music festival, Music Matters Live with HP, is now bigger than ever. I actually think it's the largest independent music festival in Southeast Asia. And here's what it's going to look like. That song, Stay Young, is by Fairchild. It's one of our festival bands. It's also become the anthem to the branded team. Whenever they're getting tired, they play that, and it kind of gets them going again. Tonight at the festival, lots and lots of stuff going on the main stage. We have a amazing Japanese showcase on the main stage. We also have the Philippine party and the Aussie barbecue. The Australians have sent 12 bands this year. It's an amazing turnout from our friends in Australia. There will be lots and lots of other bands going on around Clark Key. And for those of you who aren't in Singapore tonight to be able to watch it, it is live on YouTube. We broadcast all 3 nights live. And the reason we can do that is thanks to our friends at CTM and The Deck and YouTube who produce it. But most of the heavy lifting is being done by students. The Republic Poly have given us 60 students to produce this show. So the people who are going to be making broadcast stuff in the future are helping put this festival together, which is something I'm very, very proud of. We've got an app for that. There's a lot going on with the festival. Download the app at the App Store and Google Play. So then tomorrow, oh, by the way, the festival tonight is the bar is sponsored by Indochine and Jose Cuervo. So we're sponsored by tequila. I need you here at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Okay? So it's just think that you've got a flight and you've got to get to the airport, and and also if you just drink tequila on its own, you won't get a hangover. That's my tip. So then tomorrow, Social Matters kicks off. Now we've done this for 2 years in Hong Kong. Very, very successful joint venture with Ogilvy. It's an amazing event because it's a room full of brands and agencies, and you have brands on stage who get it, who get social media, who get the idea, who get the concept of creating content that is shareable. So we'll have people like Unilever and Coca-Cola, Mondelez, all on stage sharing their knowledge about a very, very interesting and important area of the business. So Social Matters starts tomorrow, but there is a lot of it going on upstairs today. And then after that finishes, our friends at Hootsuite out there are very, very generously supporting a cocktail at the end of the day. So please join us for that. Again, all you have to do is walk 6 feet beyond the doors over there, and we'll be serving drinks for a couple of hours, and then back to the square where we've got 4 phenomenal showcases from the Koreans, Canadians, Taiwanese, and a Singaporean showcase as well. We have private lunches happening through the week. If you've been invited to one, please do respond. We've got Accenture and YouTube today. You will need to respond if you want to attend those. And also very important to us is championing the causes of a lot of industry associations. There's a lot of advertising groups there, industry bodies, governing bodies. So we're delighted to be able to work with all of these people to bring their people together at All That Matters. We have our Music Matters Academy tomorrow and Saturday happening over at Scape. We're embarrassed by the quality of the program that we've put together by that. So a lot of our keynotes are going to be spending a lot of time mentoring young musicians from all over the world for the next 2 days. And by the way, the Academy it's an invitation only, but it's free to attend. We don't charge the musicians to attend. HP are a very big part of my life over the next 4 days. They support the festival. Because of their support, the festival is free. They support the Fan Fest. What they're also doing for anyone here, and band members especially, they have their printing stations set up at the back. So if you want to print some flyers to hand out to everyone in the venue at the conference over the next 2 days, use them and abuse them. Okay, use them. It's free. It's free, and we're very, very grateful for that. We've also, for the first time, hopefully this works really, really well, we've set up the Music Matters Live with HP Live Lounge outside. So we're going to have some musicians playing out in the lobby for the next couple of days. So listen to them, hang out. They want to meet you guys and stuff. So that should be quite good fun. And then it's the weekend. Normally we all go home, but no, we've got to keep on working because the crazies really will turn up. We've got 18 of these YouTube stars coming with us. I'm not going to take you through this whole thing. This promo spot ran on YouTube has had 250,000 views. The event is pretty much sold out. We're doing 3 shows over the weekend at Scape. Plus we have an academy. Plus we have a lot of meet and greets and stuff like that. So it's going to be a really crazy time. We've got a lot of security over at Scape because there's just going to be thousands and thousands of kids coming over. But these YouTubers have 50 million subscribers between them. It's quite remarkable, considering especially last year's YouTubers had 18 million subscribers between them. So we're expecting quite a lot of attention. I'm not going to go through all these brands, but I do want to say thank you to every single one of those companies listed up there, because without them, we can't do the event, and it's a very, very important part of our lives. Some very, very quick housekeeping that I'm going to finish. The internet yesterday, we had a few problems with the hotel's internet. It is the Ritz-Carlton service. They've opened it up. They're bringing in more today. But a plea, please, if you are from Singapore and you have a local plan, can you use your local plan, not the Wi-Fi? If you're from overseas, you can use the Wi-Fi. It should be okay, but just don't download lots and lots of big chunky movies and stuff like that. So just respect the Wi-Fi. Also respect the wristband. You know the rules, and so please don't leave the hotel having to make decisions for you. Respect your neighbors. We have the $10 swear box. Michael Chugg isn't here, but it's in his name. Sometimes people may not understand an expletive to be something good. So please, no swearing. It also upsets the translators at the back. We've got Japanese and Korean translators, okay, and they're lovely, so don't upset them. The hashtag matters to me. We had 22 million impressions yesterday, so let's try and beat that today, because we're in the music industry. We know what we're doing, so we've got to beat the Digital Matters crowd, okay? So that's it from me. I really do hope you enjoy the next 2 days, 4 days, 4 nights, 2 days of conference. And then finally, I want to introduce a couple of people. To start with, as everyone knows, the Singapore government are an amazing supporter of digital media, the arts, and culture and sport. We do a lot with them. The next person I'm going to introduce to the stage, I've been trying to get to come to Music Matters for 3 years, but her schedules haven't allowed it. She is probably the biggest flag waver within the Singapore community and at the government for the arts and the entertainment business and culture. Could you please give a very, very, very warm, huge Music Matters welcome to Janice Koh.
Thanks, Jasper. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. I'm sorry we don't have tequila this morning, but I've had my 2 cups of espresso and I hope you've had yours. May I first take this opportunity to give a very special welcome to all our friends who are visiting Singapore. It's really wonderful to see so many music artists, producers, managers, and thought leaders from the industry, both from here and abroad, at Music Matters today. Thank you, Jasper, for that introduction and the invitation to make this welcome address. It's indeed a real pleasure for me to be part of this prestigious event. Now, I've spent a good part of the last 2 years or more as a nominated Member of Parliament representing culture and the arts in Singapore. As an actor and an arts practitioner for over 2 decades, working mostly in theatre, television, and film, it's a real privilege to play this role in helping to shape the development of Singapore arts and industry. But today, I'm going to talk about Singapore music, and in particular, Singapore English language music. I'm not from the music scene, yet I feel I have journeyed with the music industry over the last 2 years. This journey began in January 2012, interestingly enough, at the old Parliamentary Chamber, which had been converted into a performing venue at the Arts House. I was at a forum attended by a house full of freelance music artists, promoters, and producers, and they had gathered to discuss the state of the music industry in Singapore and the need to speak with one collective voice. I was probably the only non-musician in the whole room. That many talented Singapore musicians and indie bands were still largely invisible in mainstream media floored me. How do we even begin to talk about a sustainable music industry when there was so little awareness of homegrown music among Singaporeans themselves? Barely a few months after that, at the 2012 budget debate in Parliament, I gave one of my first speeches about the need for a broadcast quota in Singapore. It was the first of many speeches and parliamentary questions raised on the issue of music development, and while this journey towards change has not been easy in the past 2 years, I can safely say that as a result of deeper consultation with government and advocacy on the part of industry, a significant amount of effort and attention is now being placed on music development in Singapore today. Government has played no small part in this process by promoting dialogue between music makers, broadcasters, as well as industry partners, and there have been encouraging signs that some positive changes are beginning to take place. First, radio has stepped up and listened. I know that in this age of YouTube and exciting advancements in social media and digital technologies, there are so many other platforms to promote music. But in Singapore, radio is still important. Culminating from meetings that were catalyzed at Music Matters, MediaCorp radio stations have been playing 1 song per hour on English radio and relaunched Lush 99.5 as an indie station dedicated to supporting this cause with its Lush Loves Local hashtag and with regular programming of Singapore-made music. It may not be enough, but for now, it's a good start. And we hope more radio stations will come on board, and we're going to keep the pressure up. Second, we've been asking for greater consolidation within government agencies and a strong vision that will take a holistic view of the music industry's needs. I believe they are listening, with recent news that the National Arts Council may transition to become the central agency to administer all music grants. Third, on copyright protection. Increasing online piracy is a global problem which adversely affects the creative sector. In response, the government is intending to amend Singapore's Copyright Act to enable rights holders to protect their rights more effectively against websites whose primary purpose is to offer infringing content. Alongside this, efforts will be made to reinforce the public's understanding of and respect for copyright in general, and to promote better availability of legitimate content. The music industry in Singapore has shown strong support for these objectives. And finally, music export has continued to be an intrinsic part for industry development due to the relatively small size of Singapore's market. We welcome back Dion, Caracal, and Kevin Lester from their recent shows at Canadian Music Week. Canadian Music Week is an important platform for us in the music event calendar. And with many Singapore artists regularly being invited to perform there, highlights the ongoing interest in our talent. We're also beginning to see industry access for Singapore artists. Sony Music Singapore has recently signed 3 acts, Sazari, Trick, and Gentlebones, whom I understand will be making their appearance in the program later. Cosmic Armchair was recently signed to Belgian EDM label Alpha Matrix. Wormrot was recognized as one of grindcore's top 10 bands worldwide by OC Weekly. Monster Cat's debut album, The Violet Hour, reached #1 on iTunes, and local labels such as Darker Than Wax are building a strong presence internationally. Many of these developments would not have been possible without the music industry coming together to speak with one voice. This happened 2 years ago when the Music Society Singapore, or SG Muso, was born on this very platform at Music Matters. We know that industry associations have always played a big part in promoting music development in countries like Canada, Australia, the UK, and the US, and it is no different in Singapore. I would like to acknowledge the contributions of the founding members of SG Muso and its current team, including Graham Perkins, Shahid, Mike C., Danny Lung, Kevin Matthews, and Sarah Sim, and all its 820 members who have come together and put aside their vested interests to tirelessly push for the promotion and advancement of Singapore-made music. This week, over 100 members of SG Muso have been given free access to participate at Music Matters and the exclusive Music Matters Academy that begins tomorrow. This year, the Academy has been expanded to include all artists performing at Music Matters Live, which will enable a greater opportunity for learning and collaboration. And there's still so much more for us here in Singapore to learn. For this, I'd like to thank Jasper and HP for their kind support. The Singapore music industry has made some good strides, and I believe we still have a long journey ahead of us. Deeper, more sustainable efforts are needed if we want to transform what is now simply a Singapore music scene into a Singapore music industry. This can be achieved only if stakeholders here play a part to ensure the wider accessibility of Singapore-made music. As a start, I've proposed 3 ideas to government. First, a radio broadcast quota to help build an audience and jumpstart the demand for homegrown music. Second, a strong export strategy that can tap into the commercial and soft power potential of our music talent in international markets. And third, a central agency to promote excellence, support the needs of the music industry, and develop a strong vision for everyone to work towards. Hopefully, as I mentioned earlier, one of them is being looked into, so 1 down and 2 more to go. The government has said that it cannot do this alone. Well, I have no doubt that with sustained efforts of industry professionals and associations like SG Muso to promote and advocate for Singapore music, we will get there in good time. Singapore is young, but I believe we can make our music a part of the lives and memories not only of Singaporeans, but music listeners worldwide. And that, like so many countries around the world, we too will have a strong music heritage to look back upon and be proud of. On that note, I'd like to wish each and every one of you a wonderful and productive time at the conference. There's an amazing lineup of speakers ahead, and I hope that when you go to Clarke Quay, you'll look out for those amazing Singapore musicians. Thank you.
Thank you.